When was the last time you woke up feeling like a man? Not just rested, not just breathing, I mean really feeling like a man. It's a question most guys over 60 don't ask out loud, but they think about it quietly every morning they roll over and stare at the ceiling. If you haven't woken up with that familiar morning firmness in weeks, if you find yourself pulling away instead of reaching for your partner, if the fire that once burned inside you now feels like distant smoke, then this message is not just for you, it's about you. Hi, I'm Dr. James Whitaker. I've been helping men navigate the second half of life for over 30 years, and I can tell you something most doctors won't. It's not over. You're not broken. You haven't lost your manhood. You've just stopped feeding it. Let me tell you about someone I met not long ago. A soft-spoken 83-year-old former engineer named Howard. Divorced at 72. Lonely at 75. Thought he was past his prime at 77, but today, Howard wakes up every morning with morning wood stronger than most guys in their 40s. No blue pills, no risky injections, just one simple habit done before bed that changed everything. And here's the shocker. It's not a supplement, not a new drug, not even a workout. It's a small bowl of real food with 4 ordinary ingredients you probably already have in your kitchen. And the science behind it absolutely floored me, because what these 4 foods do while you sleep is something that no prescription bottle ever could. They help your body unlock deep restorative sleep, increase testosterone naturally, improve circulation, and reignite the very chemistry of desire and performance. Not through force, but by working with your body, not against it. And in the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly what those ingredients are, how they work, and how you can start using them tonight. You owe it to yourself to listen, because this might just be the thing that brings back the version of you thought was gone forever. His name was Howard. 83 years old, retired engineer, widowed for nearly a decade. When he first walked into my office, he had that look in his eyes, the one I've seen in too many men his age, tired, disconnected, resigned. He sat down slowly and said, "Doc, I think I'm just not meant for that part of life anymore." He didn't say the word sex. He didn't need to. It was written in the way he avoided eye contact, in the weight of his silence. He told me he'd stopped dating years ago, felt ashamed, embarrassed. Even when he met someone wonderful through a church group, he pulled away, because deep down, he believed that part of him was gone forever. And then he said something I'll never forget. "I'm not afraid of dying, I'm afraid of fading." That hit me hard. So I asked him to try something simple, something he didn't expect. A bowl of food before bed. 4 ingredients, nothing fancy, no promises. 2 weeks later, Howard returned. This time his shoulders weren't slouched, his voice was clearer, and he smiled as he said, "I woke up hard, Doc, first time in years. Didn't even realize how much I missed that feeling." That wasn't just about an erection, that was a man being reminded of who he was. And that, my friend, is what this video is about. Not just science, not just food, but a path back to the man you thought was gone. Now, I'm not here to drown you in medical terms or complicated chemistry, but if you're going to understand why this bedtime ritual matters so much, you need to know what's happening under the hood. Because what Howard experienced wasn't luck, it was biology, finally working the way it's supposed to. Here's the truth. As men age, testosterone drops. Blood vessels stiffen, sleep becomes shallow, stress climbs quietly. And libido, well, he gets buried under it all. But the good news is this, your body still remembers how to work. It just needs the right conditions. And that's where these 4 ingredients come in. They work together like a team, triggering key systems while you sleep. One helps your brain produce serotonin and melatonin, 2 chemicals that calm the mind and deepen sleep. Another boosts blood flow, allowing oxygen and nutrients to reach where they need to go. 1 helps stabilize blood sugar, protecting your blood vessels from silent damage. And 1, it gently nudges your testosterone back to life, naturally. And here's the most beautiful part, all of this happens while you sleep. No side effects, no harsh chemicals, just real food doing what your body once did on its own. Because deep inside, you're still wired for strength, connection, and desire. And now you're about to give your body a chance to remember that. Let's start with something so simple you might laugh. A banana. Most people think of it as just potassium, a quick snack before a walk. But to your brain and body, it's a quiet powerhouse. Here's why. Bananas are rich in an amino acid called tryptophan. Your body takes tryptophan and turns it into serotonin, which lifts your mood and calms racing thoughts. Then, serotonin becomes melatonin, the hormone that signals your body it's time to sleep. Why does that matter for your manhood? Because your body produces most of its testosterone during deep, uninterrupted sleep. No deep sleep, no testosterone, no energy, no drive, no firmness. So by helping you sleep better, a banana is actually helping you restore your hormonal strength. But there's more. Bananas are also packed with vitamin B6, which your body uses to convert cholesterol into testosterone. Without enough B6, that process slows, quietly stealing your edge. And then there's bromelain, a natural enzyme in bananas that supports blood flow and sperm quality. Even manganese, a trace mineral found in bananas, plays a role in reducing inflammation in the prostate, something every man over 60 should be mindful of. Still not convinced? Let me tell you about Robert. He's a 67-year-old retired teacher who came to me after months of feeling flat. Low energy, awkward bedroom moments, no motivation. He was considering hormone therapy. But instead, we made one tiny change: a banana every night, 30 minutes before bed. 2 weeks later, he emailed me, "Doc, I don't know what's in that banana, but I woke up feeling like a man again." It wasn't magic, it was biology restored. And that's the beauty of nature. It doesn't rush. It simply remembers. So tonight, if you have a banana sitting on your counter, you might just be holding the first step back to feeling alive again. If bananas are the quiet healers of sleep and hormones, then saffron is the spark that stirs your soul back to life. It's not just a spice, it's a story, waiting to be felt again. Most men think of saffron as something exotic, a golden thread tucked away in a fancy jar, used in gourmet dishes they've never tried. But for centuries, saffron has been used to awaken the senses, lift mood, restore intimacy. The science behind it, impressive. Saffron contains compounds like crocin and safranel, natural mood enhancers that reduce anxiety, mild depression, and stress. 3 invisible walls between a man and his desire. And then there's its effect on erectile function. In multiple studies, saffron has been linked to stronger erections, more frequent arousal, and greater satisfaction. Not by stimulating the body aggressively, like a pill, but by calming the mind and opening the heart. Let me tell you about Daniel. He's 72, lost his wife of 40 years, spent nearly a year alone, grieving in silence. Eventually he met someone, but when the time came to be close, his body didn't respond. He told me it felt like I'd forgotten how to want. We made small changes, simpler meals, better sleep, and one gentle shift, a pinch of saffron and warm milk before bed. 3 weeks later, he sat in my office, smiling. I didn't just feel more desire, Doc. I felt present, like myself again. That's the magic of saffron. It doesn't force anything. It reminds you of what's still alive inside. So if you've been feeling numb, distant, or disconnected, don't give up. Sometimes all it takes is a golden thread to bring your heart back home. Now let's talk about something warm, familiar, and deeply underestimated: cinnamon. But not just any cinnamon. Most of what's in grocery store jars is cassia cinnamon, a cheaper cousin. It lacks the full healing power your body needs. What you want is Ceylon cinnamon, often called true cinnamon. Why? Because when it comes to male vitality, this golden spice does more than just flavor oatmeal. It opens up the highways of your body, your blood vessels. You see, erections are not about muscle. They're about circulation. If your blood vessels are inflamed, stiff, or narrowed, blood can't reach where it needs to go, no matter how strong your desire is. And that's where true cinnamon shines. It's packed with anti-inflammatory compounds that help relax your arteries, making them more elastic, more responsive. Better blood flow means better performance. Period. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. Cinnamon also helps regulate blood sugar levels. And here's why that matters. Even slightly elevated blood sugar can damage the delicate lining inside your arteries, blocking the release of nitric oxide. That chemical? It's what triggers an erection. Raw cinnamon supports insulin sensitivity. It protects your vascular lining, helping you maintain the natural chemistry your body was built for. Now, let me introduce you to Bill, a 74-year-old retired trucker. Tough, stubborn, completely done with pills. He told me, "Doc, I'm not trying to be 25 again. I just want to feel like I'm still here." We added just a quarter teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon to his nighttime routine over bananas, in tea, sometimes just stirred into warm water. Within a few weeks, his energy shifted. But what really changed? One morning he called me and said, "It's back. Not wild, not teenage crazy, just solid." That's blood flow. That's dignity. That's what real cinnamon can do. There's something deeply comforting about honey. Its slow, golden drip, its warmth on the tongue, its sweetness that lingers without asking for attention. But not all honey is created equal. What you want is raw, unprocessed honey, untouched by heat, full of life. Why? Because this kind of honey doesn't just soothe sore throats. It helps rebuild your manhood from the inside out. Let me explain. Raw honey contains boron, a trace mineral that plays a subtle but powerful role in regulating testosterone. When paired with proper sleep and lower inflammation, boron helps your body lift testosterone levels naturally. No drugs, no patches, no injections, just nature. Remembering, it also helps stabilize blood sugar, crucial for protecting your vascular system. And remember, healthy blood vessels mean healthy blood flow, and blood flow means everything. But there's more. Raw honey increases nitric oxide, the chemical signal that tells your blood vessels to relax and allow blood to flow freely. No nitric oxide, no erection. Simple as that. Now meet George. He's 69, a retired firefighter. Used to carry ladders. Now, he carried exhaustion. Worn out, disconnected from his wife, felt like a ghost in his own life. We made a few adjustments, but every night I asked him to do just one thing: take a spoonful of raw honey before bed. 3 weeks later, he walked into my office with something different in his eyes. Clarity, strength. He said, "Doc, I didn't just sleep better, I wanted to wake up." That's what real honey does. It doesn't push, it doesn't trick, it reminds. It reminds your body that sweetness still exists and that you are still worthy of it. By now, you know what each ingredient can do, but the real magic happens when they come together, not as random foods, but as part of a nightly ritual of restoration. So here's how you do it. Not rushed, not distracted, but with care. Start with 1 ripe banana, not too green, not overripe. The kind that mashes easily with a fork. Peel it gently, place it in a bowl, and slowly mash it until it's smooth. Then, take a pinch of saffron threads, or about 1/4 teaspoon of powder, and sprinkle it in. Let the golden color meet the softness of the banana. Next, add 1/4 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon, stir slowly. Let the scent rise. Let your body know something good is happening. Finally, drizzle a teaspoon of raw honey over the top. Not fast. Let it fall like a ribbon of warmth. This is nature's way of saying, you still matter. Now sit down, no phone, no TV, no noise, just you. And this bowl. Eat slowly, like you would share a quiet conversation with someone you love. When you finish, don't rush to wash the dishes. Don't check emails. Just let your body rest. This is more than a snack, it's a message. One that says, I'm not done. I'm worth this moment. If you've made it this far, I want to speak to you, not as a doctor, but as a man who knows how it feels to age in a world that forgets your strength. We're told that desire fades, that energy dwindles, that intimacy becomes memory, and too many men accept that quietly. They shrink, they give up. But hear me clearly, you are not done. Not even close. What we've shared today, banana, saffron, cinnamon, raw honey, not as a gimmick, not as a last chance, but as a gesture of self-respect. And if something shifts, if you wake up with more energy, more presence, a sense of being you again, leave a comment, tell me, tell someone, because your story matters, your strength matters, and your best chapters might still be ahead. Hit that like button if this message spoke to you. Subscribe if you want more ways to reconnect with your strength. And share this with another man who might need to hear, it's never too late. Not to feel strong, not to feel alive, not to feel like yourself again. Not as a gimmick, not as a last chance, but as a gesture of self-respect. And if something shifts, if you wake up with more energy, more presence, a sense of being you again, leave a comment, tell me, tell someone, because your story matters, your strength matters, and your best chapters might still be ahead. Hit that like button if this message spoke to you. Subscribe if you want more ways to reconnect with your strength. And share this with another man who might need to hear, it's never too late. Not to feel strong, not to feel alive, not to feel like yourself again.